Well, guys, a little bit pissed off about what happened. I know some viewers wanted to see the dark ass fucking hole. Wanted to see the video of the Hyundai Excavator front idler removal, and I did. I videoed the whole thing. Got home last night, and just the excavator and the backhoe repair that I did out by Bonanza was only like 25 minutes. So I thought, oh, you know, I need to add to this and make it a longer video. I'm going to throw some footage in on the one of these tractors I've got torn apart in here. So took the SD card out of the SD card reader that goes into the laptop. Grab the other one out of the camera, or wherever the hell it was. Yeah, it was in the camera, I think. And put it in there and transferred the files to that, to just basically transferred them to the hard drive on the computer and saved them. Then I could just add them to the, then I could stick the other SD card back in there and then, you know, add those files and import them to the Cyberlink video maker. That's what I usually do when I have, you know, video on two different SD cards. So the goddamn doorbell rang, and I got up and I left that other SD card that I took out with the footage on it that was for this excavator, and it fell down in the crack in the couch when I got up because I left it laying on top of the laptop, and I knew I did as soon as I stood up. I'm like, son of a bitch. Anyway, I went and answered the door. I came back, and I reached down in there with my finger to kind of put some tension on it because it was sliding down to the bottom of the couch, and I put some little tension on it with my finger there up against the kind of the wall of the couch, and then I was going to lift the cushion with the other hand and then try to drag it out with my finger because I couldn't get, you know, couldn't see the son of a bitch hardly. But just with that tension with my finger, it broke the SD card in half. Oh my god, I was so pissed. So pissed. Anyway, so there goes that whole thing. I wish that I would have saved them to the whole files to the computer, and I would have had them. It's gone forever now. So I guess I'll make a video of putting it back together. I gotta unload. I went out there and didn't take me long to pull it out. I used the actual excavator itself, the machine, to pull the track and pull the idler out. I couldn't use the buck. They didn't have a bucket on this one. They'd taken it off, and usually if they got a good rock bucket or something like that, and the teeth are long enough on them, I can pull the grease fitting out of the track tension cylinder and then use the bucket to collapse the front idler enough to get a chain around the pads on the track, and then hook it to the bucket, and then just swing and lift a little bit and pop the track right off the front idler, and then pull sometimes you'll have to reconfigure the chain and get it around the center of the track and pop it over that upper idler, and then you can get enough room to get the front idler drug out, and then just use the bucket. Just curl the bucket and wrap some straps around it, or weld a bolt. I've welded bolts on the ends here and threaded it, and then ran a chain down over the eye, you know, through the eye of the chain, put a nut on it and drug them out, or lifted them with my crane or whatever. But you should be able to about do anything you want with the machine. You really shouldn't even need your service truck or your crane. So I'm damn sure gonna video it and going back together. I need to unload this front idler. The bearings are, I don't know if we can even tell here because it's sitting. I'll have to get it unloaded and show you, but I want to get this cylinder out. Some of the viewers were saying this rod was bent on the cylinder. This D7 is still laying in the back of the pickup. There's a hydraulic pump for a 6430. Yeah, this is the front lighter of the Hyundai Excavator. You can see here where there used to be a bearing. Let's swap it over on its side. Okay. That should give you a little better idea there of what, well, trying to anyway. See she's done for. I got a new one coming from AMS Construction. They're an online deal. I've gotten idlers from them before. Pretty good outfit. If you need idlers, call Cody at AMS. Okay, cylinder off D7. Gonna start repacking that. Hey guys, here's the 7430 we've been working on. It's the same one I did the SIC controller, calibrated the remotes. Actually today I did the hitch. I calibrated the hitch. I got a new hitch position sensor in my service truck, but everything seemed to be fine there. I didn't really see anything abnormal. It calibrated, went through the calibration process just fine. Now, okay, this is the one here, I don't know, a few videos ago I rebuilt the mechanical front wheel drive clutch pack in it because those bearings were out. It destroyed the shaft and destroyed all the bearings, and so basically I reused the clutch drum. So story behind all this is, so I drove it after I initially got it done, and I noticed, you know, when I turned real tight I had a noise, and then when I backed up really fast I could hear a clunk 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 backing up real fast. Wouldn't do it slow. So, you know, the first thing you think is, did I screw something up putting that together? So I took it back out, and I had poured fresh new oil and new filters on it, and I had metal back down in the bottom of this, and then I was really like, what the hell, you know. So they were really needing the tractor really bad, and we kind of had a little bit of a dispute over it because I was, you know, I wanted to find out where this was coming from. I said, there's something else wrong. I said, there's, you know, it doesn't matter whether it's in four-wheel drive or two-wheel drive that was making the noise backing up. It was more prevalent going forward turning when you were turning tight in four-wheel drive, but backing up it didn't make any difference whether it was in two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. It clunked real bad going backwards. I said, it shouldn't do that. There's something else wrong with it. So this is the third time that I've pulled this out of here now, because I finally talked to him, and you need to find out before we're harvesting strawberries, and you really need it bad, and this thing goes tits up on you because you didn't address the problem. So I pulled it off, and I don't know, it's kind of hard to see, but down on the bottom there's some glittery shit back in there again. And this is the low spot on the tractor, so my only thought that I can ever come to mind is, I know for certain the second time I thoroughly cleaned it out really good. And there's two suction screens on this thing. There's one on the left hand side, the suction for the transmission, and there's one on this side for the charge pump. So let's walk out here and I'll show you this one here. This metal right here, get out here in the light, look at all the metal right there. I really think there's something else going on in the rear end. I think there's something happening in the rear end on it, which would explain also, I've had some guys drive with the diff locks on and tear the rear ends up before, and they would do odd things like, you know, clunk and make noise when you turned, and because, you know, when you turn, I mean, one side's going to be turning slower than the other side. So it makes sense that something might be clunking back here. So I just talked to the owners, well, the manager, and I said, look, you know, I don't know with absolute certainty that there's not something, you know, coming apart in there. I said, it's really hard to tell. I hate for you to get this thing in the critical time of harvest, that's when you make your money, and then this thing break down and you got to go rent a tractor somewhere. So he said, what's it take to look at it? And I said, well, so I can pull that back end off where the PTO is. I should be able to see back in the rear end. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pull the back end off here. And it doesn't take much to do it. I'm going to have to pull this fill tube off because I don't know that. Yeah, those bolts. I think 2 of these bolts might go clear through to here if I remember right. I guess I better go get my service manual out for this and make damn sure that we're good, we're doing right. Take the center link off. Take everything else that I know has to come off. So here will have to come off. Drawbar out. Each line can stay on this bracket here. It holds up this it holds the light receptacle on. That'll have to come off. This line here will have to come off. I got a set of end wrenches right here from old Bill and Mac. And I'm going to use them. Sure are handy, these angled offset wrenches. Looks like it's going to try to rain or something. Sure did cool down. Let it rain, what I say. Put the fires out. Still a little smoky around here, but let that one there. Different size. Why would they make 2 of the thing same size? You know, why would they ever do something like that? I kind of like these because they're not too long too. I mean, most wrenches you get, they're either too long or too damn short. These are just about perfect. Okay, where's that line going? Can we just kind of bend her over there a little bit out of the way? Okay, drawbar. And I got jugs of oil here everywhere. Okay. Pull this bolt out here. Get that drawbar out of there. Big crescent wrench. Hopefully that pin drops out of there. Sometimes those pins on those drawbars don't like to drop out of there if they haven't ever moved the drawbar any. They can be a real pain in the ass. Oh, I just smudged the camera. I can see it now, I think. No, I didn't. Oh, shit. There's a hub to hell. And no, it's not really. Okay, this is going to drop out. One of those things, you know, it's sure is a hell of a lot easier in your mind knowing that you're going into your harvest season and your fucking tractor's going to stay together. Well, I think these two bolts here, I'm going to get in the service manual. I need to blow the top of this off so I don't get a bunch of dirt and shit down in there. So good though, and so trained that they've had their ass chewed so many times There they both are, laying right there. I'm just saying, come on, Dad. I wish you'd get your shit together so we can go home and play. Should be all of the bolts. Or did I forget one? There you go. And we're losing some oil. Drain plugs out too. line screwing me up. Don't see any other reason why it would come loose. Lots of anaerobic sealer. It's been a while since I've had one of these PTOs off. Do we see anything here, which I really doubt it, there's going to be any kind of issue here. See, there's a bunch of silvery looking shit down in there too. I gotta get some more force sweep and dump on this. And we'll take this shield off and we'll look it over really good. See if we see anything completely obvious. Shaft there, that shaft out of there. That shaft will go right in there. Let me get some force sweep and dump on this oil. Okay. Alright, I got a socket here somewhere. I need to get that deal from my head. God dang it, man. Put this back over here. I guess I just have to take some time off and go get myself. Drop the bolt, where to go? Right now, I'm not really seeing anything. Okay, so there's where that one suction tube is, right there. You can see metal sitting in the bottom of it. Any spider gears or anything that are screwed up anywhere? Pump drive. What's the pump drive gear look like? I don't really see anything abnormal here. Not really seeing it. Without completely tearing something apart, which I don't see a reason to do that yet. That's the suction for the main pump. That's your charge pump suction right there. Man, I don't see nothing wrong really back here. I mean, you can see all the metal and shit sitting down in the bottom on the right hand side over there. What's the pinion? I can't really see the pinion. The pinion bearing. Hard to tell. I hate projects like this where you just scratching your ass trying to figure out where all the metal's coming from. You just feel so guilty about billing them. You know, you can't seem to find the problem. Tear the whole fucking tractor apart. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the problem there. I mean, I wouldn't think that it would be up in this transmission. I wonder if I ought to pull one of these plugs on this transmission. I think there was a screen on one of these too. Let's see if I see a bunch of shit in there. I don't know. The operator said he felt something under the floorboard, and that's in this area. I mean, how about the drive couplers? The drive coupler coming apart on the piece of shit or what? I don't see anything. How about the drive line? I wonder, could it be something as simple as that U-joint on that drive line going to hell? But you wouldn't think it'd make any difference when you're turning. I mean, no, that thing would make noise all the time. It wouldn't make any difference whether you were turning. And the transmission, it wouldn't make any difference whether you were turning on it either. So there's no way it could be that transmission. Now maybe backing up or something like that. It could be, but I just don't see a problem with it turning. You know, transmission should. It don't give a shit. I don't know. I don't know. Could a final be coming apart in it? I don't know whether we should pull the rear wheels and pull the finals off of it and see what they look like. Not sure on this one, guys. What's that? PTO drive gear. I mean, I don't think it's... I don't see anything really bad there. And I can't see all the pinion gears either. I'm going to jack the ass end up and turn it to double check all that right now. They look great. The ones that I can see anyway. Usually if one goes bad, you'll see it on the rest of them. Ring gear looks fine. Maybe that was just metal that's circulated into that system from the original failure from that mechanical front wheel drive pack. It just doesn't explain the noise we're hearing. You know, it's just not normal. And everybody, I mean, the mechanic over there's heard it. I heard it. The operator heard it. And I mean, so there's three people that have been in it have heard this noise. Golly, I don't know whether we just put the PTO and all that shit back on there, button it up and run it. I don't know. Or did we tear the whole tractor apart trying to find this problem? I've already been through the front end on it. I don't see anything wrong with there. I mean, the only other thing I haven't checked really is the finals and the transmission. But the transmission, I just can't see it being the transmission. It shouldn't make any difference in the world whether that thing's turning. And the PTO, it wouldn't make any difference either whether it was turning. You know, so I don't know. This is a head scratcher here, was what to do with this one. Could a brake be coming apart, or no? That wouldn't cause it, I wouldn't think. I can't see anything through these holes here. Oh shit! I can't see shit in there. I guess I'll get a hold of them before we get tons and tons and tons of time wrapped up into this and see what they want to do. Okay. There ain't much of this thing there in trouble. There ain't much to it. Bag of 4 sweep open. See that up, bud? I say there should be 4 bolts. Okay. Let's get some handle. Trouble, what are you doing? I know it's no good. There ain't we ran over the sealer and it takes a couple tubes just to get around this housing. Loctite gasket maker 515. I don't understand what the deal is. I've heard that people have told me that Loctite got bought out by Permatex, but I still see Loctite anaerobic sealer. Maybe does it say Permatex on it somewhere? I don't know. Last time I tried to cut one of these open with my pocket knife to get it open, I cut the fucking side of the tube open too. Pissed me off. This shit's expensive. Daisy, why don't you play with that young lad? Let's go with this and try to get our bolt holes actually surrounded to where the holes can see there. These holes going through, they're not going through, so. This tractor here has got me puzzled, guys. I've had a couple, over the years, I've had a couple kind of like this, and you couldn't figure it. You know, the stuff is really expensive. You get to squeezing the tube and half of it's air pockets in it. And you go, you motherfuckers charge me that kind of money and half of it's air. And this stuff here, it's worth every penny, because I'll tell you what, you don't have to put a whole lot of it on. It's clean and it's anaerobic. Anaerobic means without air. So as soon as there's no air, no oxygen, that's when this stuff sets up. You can put this on here, and you can come back next week and put your housing on, and then it'll set up. Once it squeezes together, and the lack of air, oxygen in there, that's when it sets up. That damn silicone, especially if you're having trouble getting one splined up or something, and it takes you a half an hour, the shit starts setting up on you, and you almost got to start over because it's too late. I'll get this one here back together to where really all we got to do tomorrow is pour oil in it and drive it out. Yeah, I'm going to get around there with one too, I think. But last time I did that, it took 2 tubes to get around the thing. We're going to get her with one, just fine. This was a little left over. I'm going to get a zip tie and tie this line over out of my way so I can go straight in with it. What are you guys doing? Okay, I had some wire over here. I'd rather tie that off with wire, not waste the ties. So we got some wire hanging around here somewhere. Bump my brand new sealant on there, what I'm going to do with my knee, doing it like that. Okay, that should clear that. I think we can do something now. But I got to reconfigure my lights here because I need to kind of come in at the different angle here with the tractor or the forklift where I can get in there to it.
Okay, I'm putting all the bolts in here. Finally got it halfway lined up and got it on the dowels where I could get the bolts in. So good rule of thumb here is just learn from your mistakes. Sometimes I don't, but anyway, start all your bolts before you tighten one up. I mean, get every one of them in there and get them started. I don't know how many times that I've just gotten in a hurry and oh hell, they're all lined up. It's got dowels, and I don't give a shit if it's got dowels. You'll get down there on one corner or something, and it won't. You'll get a bolt that won't start. So it's just better to something like this. It's got a bunch of bolts. Get a lineup bar and just stick it in one hole and just go around it and get every bolt started until you get to the last one. And the last one usually goes, but sometimes even then they fight you. But anyway, yeah, we almost got this thing together here. I've talked to the owners, and they've actually told me that put her back together, run it. We're just going to run it. If it blows up, it blows up. We'll rent a tractor, and we'll drag it back over there. So there's the answer I was waiting for on that. After I told them there was no problem, I couldn't find a single issue in the rear end or the drive lines or the front differential. I mean, it's either the finals or the transmission. I mean, one of the two. That's all it can be. It's the only thing I haven't checked. So that's the update on that little deal.
So that's pretty much all there is to it. I mean, I gotta torque these down. There's a trouble, buddy. Grub, come on, trouble. Daisy, where's that kid at, huh? I know, it's summertime and we got the doors closed because he's too young. We can't just turn him loose like I can with you guys and expect him to be there. Okay, guys. Hey, there he is. What are you doing, wild man? Huh? Doing your normal cowdog McNabb self, bouncing off the walls, chewing on everything. Okay, so I gotta torque these down. I'll look that up and I'll tell you what the torque is. Gotta tighten the lines up, tighten this bracket up for the trailer lights, put the drawbar in it, put the center link back in it, and then put the mechanical front wheel drive clutch pack. You guys have seen me do that before. And then I'll be back when I'm torquing this down. Okay, guys, torque her down now. Maybe now that the forklift's out of the way, maybe I'll move the camera and the light directly behind it. Maybe you get a little bit better view. Okay, let's try that. Yeah. So 175 foot-pounds on the smaller bolts and 480 on the top two where the center link is. So basically start in the middle, go across, go to the next one up, go to the next one past the center one down, start your way in the center. Let's see, maybe try doing this without the extension. Drop light's going to be in the way. That's fairly tight.
So as I'm torquing this down, I thought I'd tell you guys about hopefully here in the near future, well, hopefully tomorrow, if all things go well, hopefully there's not a bunch of company out there and guys yakking my ear off while I'm trying to work. But tomorrow morning, my big plan is to get the idler bolted onto the track tension cylinder and recoil spring for that high on the excavator. Run out there and install that front idler and install the track. And I got one rock guard on the right track frame to, I don't know if I'm going to have to pull it off. I'll have to I got to weld it up. It's cracked and broke, and they said just weld it up for now. But in the near future, also on that excavator, it's got some severe. We think it's a wiring problem somewhere in the harness because the automatic speed with the propel speed and the actual dig speed of the engine, it goes up and down. It kind of does its own thing. So that'll be a future video. I just thought I'd tell you guys about that. But tomorrow, I definitely am going to video, if I can, the installment of the track on the high-end excavator. So look forward to putting that out.
£480. That is pretty damn tight. $480. Crap out of the way. Three-point arm's kind of right in the way. Damn it. Wish I could get to a different kind of position here. Let's see, maybe I can stand up here like this. And pull on it. Whoa! Damn it. There's just no good place. I hate jerking on it like that. Let me figure something else out here. Go like that maybe, huh? Clicked, I don't know. I better stop. Something's not right. Torque wrench, I better quit. I thought I had sent it, had it recalibrated, and they said they fixed it. I don't know, man. Didn't, so I guess I better just buy a new torque wrench. That's tight enough. Okay, guys. So on this 7430, basically, let's put the drawbar in it. Oh, let's just go ahead and do it right now. Go ahead and put the cylinder in it too. In the top hole. Be a dickhead. Drawbar. Let's put these back in there. It'll help me kind of guide it in there. All these drawbars are not very light. Alright, well. Can't remember where this hairpin went. For something. Not sure what, to be honest with you. Alright, I gotta put the pin in the drawbar and then put this mechanical front wheel drive clutch pack, get it on the jack, clean this sealer off this spacer plate between the, it's kind of like a baffle, this is what it is, and take the floor jack and jack it back up in there and put the front drive line in it, and tomorrow morning we will back it out of here and pretty well be done with this one. I don't know, man, what's going on. Maybe because I really couldn't even make it when I first got done with this thing. I mean, when I first got done with it, I could not make, I mean, it would make noise constantly, you know, something, you know, backing up. And to be completely honest, after they ran it for those couple of weeks and then they brought it back to tear it apart before harvest, I took the front drive line out and put it in. I mean, I did it, I tried it with the front drive line at first. I backed it up, I turned tight, I did everything, and then I actually took the front drive line out of it. I backed it up, did all that, drove it around, and I could not make it make the noise the second time around. So I don't know, maybe we're seeing metal in there from the original bearing failure. I don't know. This is it just makes you nervous. I mean it's really good to do your due diligence and check that kind of stuff. You don't want to, you know, lose the rear end, and especially during right in the middle of harvest is when we really got to have these tractors going, and we don't need them to skip a beat. So anyways, I'm going to finish this thing up today and go home. Thank you guys.